with us this morning. Morning to you, Jim.
Good morning.
So, Commonwealth Games NI not only doubling down, they've now got a deadline for the executive to make this decision.
I think they're just digging themselves into further disrepute because far from being those who promote sport, they are now into the politics of all this, and I think that's a very foolish step for them to take. But there is a very serious issue in terms of...
they're representing people that will be engaging in sport in Northern Ireland, and from their point of view, making sport as inclusive as possible. What's wrong with that?
They're representing some people by wishing to exclude the affinity of those who have attachment to representing Northern Ireland and who think that the flag or the Ulster Banner is a suitable emblem for that. And that in the context where many young athletes who want to compete in international sport in Northern Ireland outside the Commonwealth Games, if they want to compete internationally, because of the orientation of so many sports on an all-Ireland basis, like boxing and others, they have to box for Ireland. They have to wrap themselves in the Irish tricolour. That is hugely offensive to many young unionist sports people, and yet that is the requirement because Sport NI and others have never taken a stand on that issue. And now, on top of that, we have the Commonwealth Games Association thinking that they should expunge the use of the Ulster Banner so that they totally leave any unionist-minded or anyone who's just loyal to being a part of Northern Ireland, they expunge from them the right to
Jim, they're only asking for an inclusive flag, a flag which everybody can wrap around them. They are peddling the line
that Northern Ireland, from which they get their funding, which is a part of the United Kingdom, should not be represented by a flag which contains, as an inset, the national flag of which Northern Ireland is a part. Now, that is offensive to me. I believe it is offensive to many young athletes. And I do say again, these people are needlessly meddling in politics. And
so how would you expect, Jim, a young nationalist, forget about young, a nationalist of any age who does not feel comfortable with the union flag around them, having it around them at the Commonwealth Games?
Well, two things about that. There seems to be no regard...
this union banner.
Yes. There seems to be no regard for young unionists who have to wrap the Irish tricolour around them in the Olympics and other things. But let's remember, these are the British Commonwealth Games. If someone wants to participate in the Commonwealth Games, they are participating in something that by historic genesis is a British-style institution. So in doing that, why should they be surprised that there would be a flag which is of that orientation?
Because in Northern Ireland, Jim, this specific place with all of the history and problems that we have had, we get the very positive outcomes when we try to be as inclusive as possible. And the Commonwealth Games NI and their chief executive is essentially saying, let's be as inclusive as possible, and he's telling the executive that they ought to design an Ulster, a new banner to replace the Ulster Banner, which is as inclusive as possible. How does that not make sense to you?
Well, how is this partisan chief executive, has he ever taken a stand for young non-nationalist athletes who are offended by the fact they have to wrap themselves in the Irish tricolour in the Olympics? Has he ever shown an interest in that? Or is he only interested in expunging any trace of that which identifies Northern Ireland as part of the United Kingdom within the Commonwealth setting? Is he only interested in that?
Well, he would say he's not partisan, Jim, and what he's dealing with here is what will be happening at the Commonwealth Games. He's not looking outside that. He's dealing with the Commonwealth Games, and he is the chief executive of Commonwealth Games NI.
What are the Commonwealth Games but that which historically are part of the British Commonwealth syndrome? So, this is a man who's quite happy to earn his living promoting Commonwealth Games, but then wants to expunge from that any British connection.
Well, it's not just him. It's not just him. He's representing the views of the Northern Ireland Commonwealth Games Council. So, and it's maybe unhelpful, Jim, to personalise it all about him when we broke this story yesterday. He's had to contact the police because of fears for his own safety.
Well, of course, nobody should be threatening anyone about any of this, nor should he be threatening to meddle in politics, which are none of his business.
So again, to nationalist members of our community living here in Northern Ireland, what do you say to them, helping them with what will be wrapped around them when they're participating in sport?
Well, if they choose and wish to participate in the Commonwealth Games, and I welcome that, then they should know the territory. It is the Commonwealth Games. And surely with the Commonwealth Games, it is natural and to be expected that there would be linkage to the historic British Commonwealth, and therefore to seek to remove any reference to the flag of Britishness. It seems to me incredible. And I repeat, where is the interest from this gentleman or from others, including Sport NI, in bringing equity and fairness to young athletes in boxing, in tennis, in hockey, in all those other sports, whereby if they want to compete internationally, they can only do it wrapped in an Irish tricolour. When that issue is addressed, then there'll be time enough to talk about the other matters.
Jim Allister, thank you very much. I know you need to